What's up, guys? Big104 here, back again with another CS_office video. Today I'm going to be covering some T-side aggression. So this map gets a lot of flack for being that one map that's super T-sided and boring to play as opposed to active duty maps because of the excessive camping that goes along with the inherent nature of the, geography of the map. The common strategy that you'll see being used from Nova all the way to LE is, let's just smoke this hallway for like a continuous minute and a half and run down the clock and then continue to throw Molotovs and grenades, right? You're gonna see that kind of gameplay all the way up until LE. It's effective, but the problem is that it shifts the game focus from aim to just angles and utility advantage, which steers a lot of players away from this map. My goal for this tutorial is to show some T-side aggression that shows the other team or gives the perception that this map is not strictly just holding corners. So I'm going to start off with the three positions that I'm going to cover. There's going to be two players long haul, one player elbow, and then two players playing in paper. So I'm going to start, since I'm mostly comfortable playing elbow, I'm going to cover some do's and do nots in elbow first. So if you spawn early around close here, that's great. But if you spawn all the way back here, you might want to tell your teammates to steer clear so you can get that early aggression. So you want to do is hold your knife out all the way, smoke off windows so you don't get sniped, and basically count the cross or spot an early kill. You need to be careful for players playing all the way back here, players jumping on the blue crate, players going to front office. That's usually a free kill if people aren't paying attention to you. Also, while you're holding this cross over here, you can be able to hear the garage door open, and you can hear players running up the stairs, especially if there's if there's multiple players running up with their knives out, you'll be able to hear that stampede, so you're going to have to retreat quickly, throw your grenade. Especially if you're opping, I would recommend throwing both your grenades. You can rebuy grenades since this is technically still spawn. I don't recommend saving your grenades if you're opping elbow because you don't want to be caught out with a grenade in the middle of a rush or in the middle of a peak. So I recommend just using both grenades early and just focusing on aim instead of using utility. A common thing that I see players doing is holding elbow from back here. Although this is a safer position than all the way up there, you will not be able to help your paper players if you're playing in connector. Connector is a cool spot if you think the other team is just spamming elbow, but you won't be able to help your teammates playing paper because you definitely will not be able to see this player cross like this, right? People crossing into elbow like this can throw all the utility they want into paper, and you won't be able to do jack shit about it because you're holding all the way back there. So my recommendation for playing elbow is at least play the foul cabinet or play super close like right here. If you hear someone, you could toss your Molotov, toss a grenade. If you're smoked off at this position right here, I'd recommend just either spamming the smoke with a deagle or just throwing your grenade, throwing your Molotov. If they're continually spamming the smoke, you could fall all the way back here, do a running throw at the picture, and that mollies in front of paper. You can do the same with the grenades, and that achieves the same thing. As the elbow player as well, you do have access to long haul. You can help your teammates who are having trouble with long. You can cap behind this monitor. It blocks bullets. And that's pretty much it when it comes to elbow. You could do that early round aggression that I talked about, and the rest of the time you're going to be backing up your paper players. As far as paper goes, there isn't a lot of aggression needed in paper because you are pretty much the first line defense here in the T-spawn department. So what you can do early round is keep this smoked off, and then if you hear someone, just spam the smoke or throw a grenade if you hear like a group of people to get some major damage. You could challenge main hall if you smoke off bathroom, and then you could molly close elevators, and then as players are retreating, you could swing out maybe with a flash that your buddy throws, and then get some early picks that way. But typically I recommend that the paper players preserve their nades, preserve their health, because they're going to get grenade spammed from main hall, because a lot of the players in main, their first instinct is, oh, let me throw this grenade right here, let me throw this grenade back there, and you're going to lose at least 50 health by the time the 30-second mark holds, because there are going to be a lot of grenade spams into paper. So you want to make sure that you conserve as much health as you can. This is wall bangable right here, so you gotta be super careful about that with an op at least, not an AK. This is super wall bangable. You can swing and wall bang this. You can wall bang that. So yeah, you just gotta be careful from the enemy's point of view, because this is a one-shot kill with the op if you're not careful. That pretty much covers what I have for paper. If you get smoked off, their first instinct is to throw the Molotov. Make sure you throw it a little bit deeper. That's not deep enough, I guess. How far is the smoke? Oh, it's pretty far. Okay. Typically, CTs are not going to throw that shallow of a smoke. Their smoke is going to be right here. So let's say they smoked off paper completely. You want to molly off elbow. And so they don't cross as freely as they do. Another thing that you could do is if they've smoked off elbow like this, make sure you communicate to your teammates that you can't see the cross, so that the elbow players can either fall back or have some T-spawn players help out. That pretty much covers paper and elbow as far as I know. If you have two players in paper, and paper is either mollied off or smoked off, you can always have one of the paper players rotate quickly off into front office and then help out elbow, because that's probably where the CTs are going to be pushing from. Moving on to long, there's a special thing you got to keep in mind, that there is a 1 in 4 chance for a long hostage to spawn at the start of the game, and there's a 1 in 5 chance for a paper hostage to spawn. So long is going to have a little bit more dynamic, I guess, playstyle, just because of the possibility of the hostage spawning here, and because long is pretty much half of the map. It splits the map in half. So if you control long, you basically control half the map, as with other maps as well. So if you, for example, if I'm an opper,
I need help!
typically people are going to be holding this, going to be holding this. I've seen people sit in this plant right here. I've seen people hold this angle right here, right? But if you want to aggress even further down, you could always smoke down bathroom, molly in front of bathroom, and then that gives you a safe way to peek any angle you want. I've seen players one-way smoke this, which is fine. You can go all the way back here, hold long, and then you'll be able to see players' feet as they're crossing, just because you have that one-way smoke. I've seen players just completely smoke off this section, run up here to bathroom, get a quick off peek here. You can even hold this with a sawed off. You can peek unsuspecting players. You don't really have to actually peek. They'll just run into your sawed off, and that's a free $900 here, $900 here. I've seen players one-way smoke this and just stand right here and wait for players to run into them, because this isn't really an angle that people will be checking. You can boost onto this, if you're pushing down long onto front office,
I'm throwing smoke.
you just smoke this off, take a quick pick. If you hear the glass break, aim right here. If you don't, aim right here. You get your kill, you run all the way back,
Throwing fire.
molly main hall, and then retreat as fast as you can before the teammates have a chance to trade you off. Typically what I like to do is just smoke in front of smoke in front of bathroom,
Fire.
molly, and just wait for intel. If I don't hear any intel, I usually jiggle peek this, walk up. If I especially don't hear any glass break in front office, I usually like to walk up here, check these angles. If there's no glass broken here, then I know it's pretty safe to peek main hall and get a free kill, because nobody's been clearing anything. That pretty much covers most of the aggression that I wanted to talk about. The only thing left is what to do on save rounds. So let's say you just played your pistol round, you lost pistol round, right? And the second round, the CTs are going to be buying FAMAS as an M4s. So what you want to do is, you could either play this carefully and buy, you'll have enough money with the new changes to buy armor MAC-10 or armor sawed off in a smoke, but it all depends on what your team's willing to do. So let's say you just lost pistol round, you could tell your team, oh, let's just rush these windows over here. So you're going to have one player smoke this off and have 5 players rush windows. And as with eco rounds, there isn't really like the correct way to play it. The only advice that I can give is just stick together, because there is powers in number. It's because you don't have the firepower. The only advantage you have is numbers. So if there's 5 players rushing the windows and there's only 2 players with M4s here, chances are you'll get a kill or 2, take their guns, and then convert the guns back into T-spawn and try to get a couple more kills, or hopefully win the round in that fashion. I typically like to, on eco rounds, just have this section smoked off here, and hold this with a Zeus, hold this with a pistol, but it all depends. Usually players will see it coming and one-way flash me, so if a CT is walking up here, this is a flash that I've covered in my previous video. This completely flashes anyone over here. So you either have to turn away, you also have to hold your windows. So it all depends. It's not super successful, but it works a couple times until people start catching on to it. Another thing that you can do on eco rounds is camp, like I said, or you can have 5 players come front office and then basically secure a free op if you're coordinated enough. That pretty much covers all I had for T aggression. There's a lot of things that you can do. You can leave a comment and let me know what I missed, but yeah, that pretty much covers everything as far as elbow aggression, paper aggression, and long haul aggression. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.